26. As usual, we'll give it a few minutes for people to join and we'll get started. Good evening, AG. Thank you for joining. We have a few people on now. We'll give it another minute or so. Another hot day in Tennessee, but usually is hot from Memorial Day through Labor Day. And for people that are new to the stream, feel free to type in your name in the chat so I can give you a shout out. It only shows me how many people are on, not who is on. At least the rain finally stopped. Last Saturday, the rain was brutal. I wanted to go to the outdoor range to try out my new Colt Delta Elite, but I had to settle for the indoor range, but that's okay. I still got to test it out. It's a great gun. It is awesome. I love that thing. I also got to shoot the new SIG P365. And again, this stream is for you guys. So if there's a topic you want to go over or questions, enter them in the chat. I'm sure you all get tired of hearing me babble. And for those that are new to the stream, do this every Wednesday evening at 8 o'clock Eastern and every Saturday at 12 noon Eastern. There will not be a stream this Saturday. We will be going away, so congrats there, AG. I've heard nothing but good things about Rust, Martin. After you take it to the range, you got to let us know how you like it. Ocean, welcome. Thanks for joining. Congratulations on that Ruger Marlin. That 4570 seems to be very popular around these days. Hey, Duke, thanks for joining, brother. I got a couple friends of mine just bought the Henry Big Boy in 4570. That's an expensive round to shoot, though. And we got the liberals coming out of their mommy and daddy's basements early today. I'm going to give it a few minutes to see if Ozzy Osbourne joins the stream, because I got to show you something I got from him, and I'd like him to be able to see it when I show it off. That's awesome there, Ocean. You know, when I bought my Henry Big Boy, um, I bought it in 357 Magnum. And I was kind of on the fence between the Marlin and the Henry. Um, you really couldn't go wrong with either. And I'll be honest with you, the only reason I bought the Henry is because the brass gate, and I like that it was stamped Bayonne, New Jersey on it, because originally from New Jersey. Hey, Mike. Okay, so we'll talk a minute or two about gun news. Um, we know how important it is to secure our firearms, especially in the vehicle. Um, a week or two ago, that dumbass James Harden, a professional basketball player, got arrested in Houston for having his loaded firearm in a cup holder and not holstered. And in Texas, the law is that the gun must be holstered. Well, there was a tragic incident over the weekend in Florida. Um, Family from Georgia rented an Airbnb in Florida. I believe it was in Kissimmee. And they had a 4-year-old and a 2-year-old in the car. And they didn't even set foot into the B&B yet. They were unloading the vehicle. And as they were outside, they heard a gunshot. And guess what? 4-year-old kid picked up the loaded gun and shot and killed his 2-year-old cousin. My understanding from the deputies' reports were that the firearm belonged to the mother. It was loaded, it was not holstered, and it was blatantly in clear view. Now they're talking about filing charges against the mother. Um, I mean, I get it that, these parents have to live with this for the rest of their life, but god damn, how do you keep a loaded gun that's in plain sight, not holstered, with two small children in the car? I mean, when they got out of the vehicle, first thing they should have done is taken the firearm and put it in their holster. Exactly there, Ocean. Good evening, Dave. Um, Unfortunately, that's just a tragic accident that could have been prevented. And I don't know how you all feel about this. Like I said, I mean, these parents have to live with this for the rest of their life, but there's got to be some accountability there. Yes, I agree, Ocean. And, we stress all the time the importance of gun safety. And this is a typical example of people who, I would bet you, never took a formal gun training class, or they would have known better. They probably went to the local gun store and bought a gun, um, had no training. Um, hey, there's Ozzy. Thanks for joining, brother. All right, guys, I got to show you something special that I received. And I received this from Ozzy Osbourne here. And this is a absolutely gorgeous leather holster. I will use this for one of my 1911s, and you can see how well it's bonded here. Heavy duty stitching. I like this accent here. It's got a sweat shield, and this is just a beautiful piece of work. Thank you again there, Ozzy. Really appreciate that. This is absolutely gorgeous. And I just had to show this thing off because I love 1911s. I love carrying outside the waistband, so This is a belt holster, and I like the fact that with a belt holster, you can carry a firearm that weighs more because the weight gets evenly distributed. Um, but anyway, I just wanted to show this off, and thank you again, Ozzy. I really appreciate this, brother. So another nice thing about it is that the leather is pretty stiff. So unlike a lot of leather holsters, this one is not going to collapse when you draw your firearm. So anyway, thanks, Ozzy. And guys, feel free to reach out to Ozzy Osbourne. Um, guy does very good work. He's very talented. So thank you again there, Ozzy. I'll have to take a picture of the holster when I'm carrying a 1911 in it, brother. And howdy there, LW. Thank you for joining. Yeah, I just use saddle soap on my leather holsters. I mean, all my good quality guns, particularly my 1911s, all go in a leather holster. I'm not carrying $1,000 gun in a piece of plastic. So, like I said, the event was tragic, but I'd like to know all y'all's thoughts on this because they haven't filed charges yet, but as of today, the deputy said they may file charges. So, um, hey, good one, Duke. You save a lot of money. You don't have to worry about buying holsters because you live in New Germany. Um, I used to live there too. I know the feeling. However, with some of these Supreme Court cases coming up, um, that may give some hope to the people in New Jersey. Yeah, they seem to charge a lot more money up in New Jersey for things. I can also tell you, Duke, is that when I go online now, and I go to a lot of gun sites, I guess because the law is just too complicated, a lot of places aren't even going to sell things to people in New Jersey. I agree with you, Ocean. All my 1911s go in leather. I don't really care so much about my polymer frame striker fired guns, but my Delta Elite, my Kimber, all my other 1911s, they all go in leather. I do carry some in a Kydex holster. Like I don't care about the SIG and um, my Hellcat and my Glocks, but um, my real expensive guns definitely only go in leather. That's interesting, Duke. Um, I don't know how it is now, but when I used to live in New Jersey, you used to be able to cross the bridge, go into Pennsylvania, and go to Bass Pro, and you used to be able to buy all the ammo you want without any ID, and you used to be able to buy long guns. Um, I don't know if it's still like that in New Jersey, but um, it used to be. Well, that sucks. I'm telling you, I remember going to Bass Pro in Pennsylvania, um, and filling up a shopping cart with ammo. And they didn't even ask for a driver's license. Well, Duke, if you ever come to Tennessee, you can go to Bud's, you can go to Rural King and Tommy Gun and Smoky Mountain Guns and Ammo, and you can buy all the ammo you want here, fill up a shopping cart, no driver's license, nothing, and you'd be out the door. You can also buy long guns here. You definitely got to take a road trip down here, Duke. Well, you know what's funny, Ocean? When I lived in New Jersey, I bought a lot of guns from Bud's, and I had them sent to my local FFL. Hey, Thomas, welcome. Thanks for joining. Um, so I ordered a lot of guns from Bud's there, Ocean. I had them sent to my True Value hardware store in Lincoln Park. They were my FFL. Um, I had no idea where they were. Then when we moved to Tennessee, we took a ride about a half hour from the house, and I saw Bud's Guns, and I was like, no kidding. So Bud's Guns is about a half an hour, 40 minutes from here. And also, if you've ever um, gone to Natch's website, Natchez is in Chattanooga. That's only about an hour from here. Um, so it's just funny that all the years in New Jersey, I was buying stuff from Bud's, and I had no idea they were in Tennessee. But we do have lots of guns and ammo places here, fortunately. Hey, John, welcome. Good for you. I love open carry. Ah, there you go, Ocean. Former Tennessean. Good for you. Yeah, John, I normally always open carry, and I love the stupid arguments that people make about being a target, etc., blah blah blah. Um, you carry how you're comfortable, right? And as long as you have situational awareness, um, that's all that matters. I live in a pretty rural area here, so I normally open carry except for when I'm at work. If I was going to a shithole like Memphis um, or Nashville, I certainly wouldn't do it. But here, I open carry all the time. Walk right past law enforcement. Nobody looks at you funny. Exactly, Ocean. It's all about situational awareness. Um, there's people that, hey, Thomas, welcome there from Florida. It's all about situational awareness. And by the way, a lot of these people that conceal carry, that lecture to people that open carry, they don't even conceal carry. They tuck their shirt in and they stick their holster in their pants, and you could still see the holster. Or they wear a shirt that's too tight and they print. I mean, if you're going to do that, you might as well just blatantly open carry. Because in some states, if you're printing like that, or you have your shirt tucked in and you can see the holster, um, that's considered open carrying or brandishing. Um, but anyway, I don't lecture people on how to do that. I'm a biker. I ride a motorcycle, right? And I wear my helmet everywhere, even in states that you don't need to wear one. And I would never lecture anybody that takes their helmet off and say, you know, you should wear a helmet. It's none of my business. Yeah, I agree there, Ocean. You know, I just recently started buying larger shirts for carrying. Um, I wear 2XL, and I've been recently buying 3XLs so that when I carry, um, it's not as noticeable. And by the way, a lot of people have the misconception that if you use a outside the waistband holster, that it's only for open carry. And that's absolutely not true. Um, I conceal carry my 1911s with the outside the waistband holster. I wear a baggy shirt, I throw it over there. Um, but I think a lot of people misinterpret the difference. I think a lot of people think that, especially new gun owners, that they all think that outside the waistband is for open carry only. And with the right holster and the right gun belt, you can conceal almost anything. Um, I open carry, and a lot of times I will throw a baggy shirt over it. But I open carry because it's comfortable, not to be a badass. I don't want to fight with my belly in my clothing. Yeah, Ocean, I have a 945 Industries sling bag that I use um, if I'm not wearing clothing that's conducive to carrying. And that is awesome because it's got a tab, and you pull the tab and it opens up, and there's a Kydex holster in it, and the Kydex holster is for your particular gun. So when you order that sling bag, they ask you what firearm you have, and you order the holster for it. And that's from 945 Industries. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do so, and search out my videos and take a look at 945 Industries. Um, that is a true concealed carry bag. It's not just a lot of these fanny packs, they claim to be concealed carry bags, but um, they're really not. They just have a piece of elastic in them. Um, but this one really has, a real holster. Yep, I wear that when I ride my motorcycle. Um, Depending. Sometimes, I mean, I find when I ride my motorcycle, I find my 1911 is more comfortable than my Glock 19. And that's because the single stack grip is very thin, it doesn't print. Hey, Thomas. Yeah, New York is actually horrible. It's worse than New Jersey, believe it or not. Um, One day, my wife and I, when we were living in New Jersey, um, we wanted to go shooting, and I think it was Columbus Day or something. And we only had one gun range near us, and they were closed. It was a Sunday. So we decided to go to New York, and I believe the place was in Suffern. We just went over the border, went to this gun range. We brought the guns inside. The guy behind the counter said, "Is that your car over there?" And we said, "Yeah." And he said, "There's two state troopers shooting in here. I would take your guns, go back in your car, and get out of New York." And I'm like, "Why?" And he said, "It's illegal to transport a handgun over the state line." I didn't know that. Um, I thought it was like New Germany, as long as the um, firearm and the ammo were stored separately in locked compartments. But apparently, in the state of New York, um, it's illegal to transport a handgun over the state line. So, good thing he did warn us about that, or, that's another reason why we need national reciprocity, because you're going to have law abiding citizens going to jail because their Second Amendment rights evaporated when they crossed over the state line. And that is just stupid. Um, yep, I remember that, Ocean. There was actually a guy from North Carolina that went up to New York, volunteered to help, and got arrested because he had a um, pistol in his glove compartment. because in North Carolina you can do that. Um, so, yeah, I mean, we have to do something about this national reciprocity. We got to get the Supreme Court on duty. I mean, I know President Trump's been spewing this bullshit for 2 years now. Um, First thing they should have done is gotten rid of the filibuster. But uh, anyway, I think a big thing coming is the Supreme Court agreed to hear cases where states are banning and outlawing AR-15s. And if the Supreme Court rules in our favor, that will definitely help states like New Jersey that's trying to ban them, Connecticut, Illinois. Um, I just get a kick out of watching the governor of Illinois looks like Fred Flintstone. And they still refuse to admit they have a crime problem. So every holiday, people get shot. Actually, every weekend for that matter. Um, but yet him and the mayor, they don't admit they have a crime problem. But I think as of 2 days ago in Kentucky, um, 18-year-olds are now allowed to apply for a concealed carry permit. Yeah, well, one of the funniest things that the governor of Illinois said the other day was that AR-15s shoot 60 bullets per second. They are dumb and dumber there, Ozzy. I mean, your governor, the fat bastard, saying that AR-15s shoot 60 bullets a second. I mean, that's just unbelievable. Well, you know what, Dave? Welcome to the stream. Unfortunately, that's never going to happen. In theory and on paper, it sounds good. National reciprocity is never, ever going to happen in our lifetime. President Trump promised this 2 years ago when I was at the NRA convention. Um, even if it even if it does pass, these liberal states are just not going to adhere to it, and they don't care. See, this is the problem we have here. Um, the liberal states make up these bullshit gun laws, even if they're unconstitutional. And then you have to spend money on a lawyer to prove it was unconstitutional. Even if the Supreme Court ruled in our favor, these liberal states are going to still arrest you and make you spend money on a lawyer. Um, I know there's the governor, senator of Utah, his last name is Lee. He's been pushing for national reciprocity, but um, I just don't ever think it's happening. Yes, that's the problem, Dave. The problem we have is you have all these lawmakers that know nothing about firearms making more gun laws. We don't need more gun laws. There's enough gun laws on the books that we've been trying to get rid of, but we don't need more gun laws. The problem we have is we have a mental health problem. It's not a gun problem. We have a people problem. When you have 14-year-old kid who ambushed a delivery driver, ordered 3 pizzas to an abandoned house, and then shot him in the back of the head. I mean, when you have 14-year-olds doing this stuff, these gun laws pertain to you and I, law-abiding citizens. They don't understand. What don't they understand about the criminals don't listen to gun laws? You can put all the gun laws you want on the books. It's not going to stop violent crime a damn bit. Matter of fact, all it does is make it more dangerous for us because we can't defend ourselves against the bad guys that don't follow the law and they just don't get it. They just don't understand. Um, they could look at the statistics. I mean, I'm a data guy by trade. I do a lot of data analysis. They can look at the statistics, and um, gun laws don't stop violent crime. Yeah, the problem you have is it's a people problem, and it's a mental illness problem. And I don't know how we fix it. And I'll tell you why. The problem is that a lot of states, um, yeah, I agree with you 100% there, Ozzy. A lot of states, if you go to a shrink and you tell them that you have guns in your house, they'll take your guns away. So you have people now that know they have a problem. They want to go get help, but they won't get help because they don't want to have their guns taken away. Matter of fact, in Tennessee, a few months ago, we passed a bill in Tennessee where it's illegal for your shrink to ask you if you have firearms in your home. Yeah, that's the other problem is they will use mental illness as an excuse to red flag normal people. Um, Fortunately, we don't have red flag laws in Tennessee, but you know, there's got to be some repercussions because you have a neighbor, and this is why I don't even tell my neighbors um, that I have firearms because all of a sudden you get an argument with your neighbor and they call up your local police department and they say, you know, my neighbor's a lunatic. He's got a lot of guns and he threatened to shoot me. Next thing you know, they come banging on your door and they take your shit away. Um, and they have no ramifications. If they made a false report, nothing happens to them. I mean, that should be a serious offense. Yes, Ocean. That's why my neighbors have no idea what I own. Um, Fortunately, my neighbors aren't really that close to me. Um, I think the only neighbor I can actually see are the neighbors on the left, and we have a perfect relationship. We wave hello and goodbye. Um, we have each other's phone number in case there's an emergency and we need help. But other than that, we don't get involved in each other's business. Um, I like it like that. The less interaction you have with a neighbor, um, the less chance you have of things going bad. Exactly, Dave. That's the problem. And I would bet you any money when homes get robbed, a good percentage of those homes got robbed because a neighbor told somebody what you had. John, can you explain what you mean by a micro gun? Like, are you talking about a micro compact, like the Springfield Hellcat? Because if you're talking about like, yeah, absolutely, there, Ocean. If you're talking about like one of them little bitty bitty baby guns, there, John, absolutely not. I just don't see the point of them. Now, micro compact, on the other hand, that's a different animal. Like my Springfield Hellcat Pro. It's super thin. I carry that to work a lot. Most people don't even know. Um, and it's got all the features and functionality of a full-size duty weapon. Hey, Randall. Thanks for joining, brother. So I don't know if I answered your question there, John Oval, if you're talking about like uh, one of those little Derringers. Um, yeah, I don't know, Duke. I haven't seen Jib in, I don't know, maybe a week or so. He did message me the other day, so I know he's okay. But yeah, we miss Jib Jab, especially on Saturdays between Jib Jab and Duke. They try to get me to bite on the 10 millimeter debate. So Duke, I know you don't reload yet, but being you got that Glock 20 and you're going to eventually, my recommendation is to start stocking up on primers. I will buy primers now. Anybody that reloads or is thinking of reloading, I highly recommend you start stocking up on primers. Um, I've been saying for months now that ammo is going to go up, and I see it's already creeping up. Used to be able to buy ammo down here, um, $9.99 a box every day, and now I see it slowly going up to $12.99. Hey, Randall, thanks. We love you too, brother. Thank you so much for stopping by. Always good to have you. But that's going to be the next thing. I agree, Mike. That Hellcat Pro is probably one of my favorite guns. I love the fact that when you carry that, it just disappears. And when I bought my Hellcat, it came with 15 round magazines. Now they got 17 round. Now they come with 17 round mags, and it is super thin. It doesn't print at all, um, and that's what I carry at work. I also carry my Savage Stance every now and then. That's also a very compact gun, um, but it holds 13 rounds. Um, Hellcat Pro is a nice shooting gun. I like what Springfield did with their sights with the front night sight with the U-shaped uh, rear sight. Gives you very, very quick target acquisition. All right, we're almost halfway through now, so it's about 8:30. So if there's any topics you guys want to cover, just type them in the chat and we'll get to them. Any questions? Well, whatever works for you there, Ocean. You know, um, I own 9 millimeters, but like I said, I'm not a big fan of a 9 millimeter. It's not normally what I carry unless I'm going to work and I have to carry something uh, small and compact. I normally go with the 45 or 10 millimeter. And when you carry a 10 millimeter, you don't have to double tap like the 9 millimeter guys do. But you're going to see, just like the government started implementing hazmat fees on primers and powder, um, you're going to probably see hazmat fees go up. Um, and the government can't stop people from getting guns. That's a good question, Duke. My caliber for home defense, I keep that Glock 20 on my nightstand. Whatever works for you there, Ocean. That's the great thing about guns is, there's a gun for everybody. Um, it's not a one size fits all. And I have guns. I even have some guns I really don't like. Um, I have some guns that some of my friends shoot better than I do. I just don't like them. Um, and I can have a gun that I like and I shoot well, but you may not. That's the great thing about guns is no matter who you are, there's one out there for you. Now, the difference between the guns and the cars, though, is that I don't have a problem buying a clunker just to get to work, but I wouldn't buy a clunker for a gun. Um, you know, I can't tell you how many times when I'm teaching a pistol class, um, I'll get right to you there, Brian. Um, I can't tell you how many times when I'm teaching a pistol class, I have people say, what's a good cheap gun for defense? Well, cheap and defense in the same sentence. I always tell people to just save your money for another month or so and just buy a better gun, you know, um, before buying like a Taurus or a High Point or even a Rock Island. Save the extra $150. You know, when you're looking at the $250 to $300 price range, you're kind of limited. You start getting up to the $500 price range, you got a lot of options available. Um, Unfortunately, Brian, a 30-30 is going to cost you money. Um, I mean, I don't know of any cheap ones. And if it were me, I'd probably look at the Marlin, especially now that Ruger owns them. I mean, I was looking for a 357 lever action. I wound up buying the Henry, and it was like $1,000. But to me, it's worth every penny. I see your comments, Mike. I'm not biting. I'm not saying I'll never bite, but I'm not biting today. Well, you know, when I got my lever action 357, I originally was looking at the Smith and Wesson. I don't know, what was it, the 1794 or something like that? The Henry Big Boy and the Marlin. And Art, your mommy's calling you. Bye. So I decided to go with the Henry only because the Henry Big Boy's got a gorgeous brass gate. It's got a lot of brass trim, and it's stamped made in Bayonne, New Jersey. Had to have that. Hey, Focus, thanks for joining, brother. Glad to have you. We do this stream every Wednesday evening at 8 o'clock Eastern and every Saturday at 12 noon Eastern. We will not be having a stream this Saturday because I will be away. Yeah, you know what, Duke? We already know that AI isn't the greatest. Um, and in my opinion, human stupidity beats AI any day. I appreciate that, Focus. Thank you for stopping by. Always good to have you. Yeah, that 4570, that is a big round, man. That's got to cost a lot of money to buy factory ammo. Uh, John, clip limits. I don't understand what you're asking me. You're asking me for what the minimum magazine capacity would be? I mean, if it were me, I have a Savage stance. It's a very compact pistol, and it comes with a 10 and a 13 round magazine. Um, I guess anything under 15 rounds is considered, small. Yeah, you know the problem with that though, Ozzy? Um, I mean, we have a lot of pawn shops here in Tennessee. Um, I'll get right to you, John. There's um, there's a lot of pawn shops that have a lot of great deals, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure I would buy a used semi-automatic pistol because the gun stores, they're not going to let you break it down enough to see if the striker is damaged. Um, that's just me. And honestly, um, sometimes there's not that much difference in price between a used one and a brand new one. Um, but I only buy used guns. I would have no problem buying a used revolver at a gun store because they're almost impossible to destroy. Um, but I would never buy a used striker fired gun. Okay, John. So, you know, I don't really get hung up on capacity. I carry a 1911 a lot, and they're typically 7 or 8 round magazines. Um, and I don't even carry a spare. These people that are worried about carrying 21 round mags should probably go and invest in some training. Um, no, I agree, Ozzy. It doesn't hurt to look, and I always look for a deal. I mean, but it would really have to be a really spectacular deal for me to buy a striker fired gun. Um, but to answer your question, John, um, people that feel that they need 20, 30 rounds, they should probably invest in training. Um, the average gunfight is 3 shots fired at 3 yards in 3 seconds. You're not shooting 30 rounds. I mean, where do these people think they're going? To Afghanistan or Iraq? Um, you're not going to shoot 30 rounds in a gunfight. And I can tell you, if you're shooting 30 rounds in a gunfight, you're going to die because that means that the other guys also have a lot of rounds. So it's all about shot placement. And, I think people just get so hung up on how much ammo they should carry. You know what, Ocean? I've been to an academy, I think, in Knoxville. They're opening one the next town over, probably in another week or so. Um, they have a lot of cool stuff in there, but honestly, I'm not impressed. I'm not impressed with their prices on firearms. Um, and I've been buying from my local guy, and you guys may want to check him out. He's on thegunsmith.net. Actually, I'll put it in the chat. And believe it or not, when I bought my Colt Delta Elite, he got it for me cheaper than grabagun.com. So I normally now buy all of my guns through my buddy Jamie at the Gunsmith. If you contact the Gunsmith, uh, tell Jamie that Frank sent you, and he'll take good care of you. He's honest, and he is a great gunsmith. I mean, if he can't fix your gun, nobody can. And I was actually shocked. Um, Normally, when I have him look for a gun for me, I'll go get it. I'll go get a price at Grab a Gun, and I'll black out the price when I send him the picture because I don't want to put him on the spot and insult him and make him think I'm looking for a better deal. Um, and I let him come back with his price. And honestly, because he's local, uh, I don't pay FFL, etc. I don't pay shipping. If he's $50 more than Grab a Gun, I'll go with him. But the last two or three guns I bought from him, his prices were cheaper than Grab a Gun. I mean, I paid $11.25 for my Colt Delta Elite from him. And Bubba, thanks for joining. Good evening to you. So I'm just saying, you guys are looking for a good deal on a gun. Before you go actually make the purchase, check out thegunsmith.net. Tell Jamie Frank sent you, and he'll take care of you. And if you do live in Tennessee, you can just go right to him. Doing good there, Bubba. How are you, brother? All right, we do have about 15 minutes left. And like I said, this is for you guys. We discuss firearms, issues, accessories, anything Second Amendment related. Um, July 1st, the state of Tennessee now allows the use of deadly force to protect personal property. Um, so that's going to be interesting because I know, sure as shit, some redneck is going to get arrested because a DoorDash driver pulled in his driveway at 11 o'clock at night. I hate to say it, but I think people just did not read the law. That's a great price there, Ocean, for $100, all leather. That is a good price. I'm just curious, Ocean. Do you hunt? Because I just think the 4570 is just outrageously expensive. Um, I don't see you going to the range putting 100 rounds through. I mean, my Delta Elite, I took it to the range last week. I think I put 300 rounds through it, but fortunately, I reload my own 10 millimeters, so I probably have about 5,000 rounds of that on my workbench. That's cool. I always wanted to go wild boar hunting. Yeah, I guess. I mean, I don't know. Me personally, but again, I'm not a long gun guy. I probably would have went for the 44 Magnum, probably for the fact that you can shoot 44 specials through it if you had to, and it's probably less expensive to shoot. Go on, Duke. What do you hunt in New Jersey? Oh, that's right. You can't do that. Only allowed shotguns. That's another thing that's got to suck. Living in New Jersey is that. Um, okay, John. Thanks for joining. So yes, our stream hours are Wednesday evening, 8 o'clock Eastern, and Saturday, 12 noon to 1 Eastern. But we will not have a stream this Saturday because I will be away. I believe that. I saw the 4570 rounds in Smoky Mountain. I picked them up. That is a big ass cartridge. Hey, what's? Thanks for joining. It is 8:45. We'll be ending this in 15 minutes, but glad to have you here, buddy. Haven't seen you in a while. Yeah, and you know what, Duke? It's like, when you live in New Jersey, right? No need to apologize, brother. Just good to see you again. Um, yeah, it's got to really suck hunting in New Jersey there, Duke. And you come down to Tennessee, um, you can hunt with rifle, shotgun, pistol. Um, as long as it's 38 caliber and higher, you can hunt with it. So you can go hunting with a 38. Um, it's awesome. You definitely got to get down here one day, take a road trip. Yeah, to be honest with you, Watts, it's not just you. Um, Attendance has dropped the past couple months, and I get it. It's, summertime, people are with their families, they're spending more time outdoors. As soon as it starts getting darker earlier, you'll see it'll start picking up again. Yeah, I don't hunt yet. I mean, maybe when I retire, um, probably start off with turkey hunting. I mean, there's no friggin' way my fat ass is walking around in the woods and carrying a deer out all by myself. It just ain't happening. Yep, still loving the new gun. Um, that's interesting though, Watts. Depends on what you mean by the new gun, because I'm sure I got a couple new ones since last time you were here. I got a SIG P365, and I just got a Colt Delta Elite. Well, the good thing is squirrels is that in Tennessee, when you buy your fishing license, you get small game license for free. So, yeah, squirrel wouldn't be bad. I could do that in my backyard. Yeah, what's yes, the Delta Elite. I ordered it about a month ago. It came in about a week ago, and I took it to the range last Saturday. It's awesome. I always wanted one of them. Uh, I love the 1911. I love 10 millimeter. That gives me the best of both worlds. Yeah, that was the first 1911 chambered in 10 millimeter. Man, it is a sweet shooting gun. Matter of fact, I guess because of the weight and the 5-inch barrel, if you have your eyes closed and you shoot the Colt Delta Elite, can't really tell any difference between that and the 45. Hey, John's life. Well, that's a lot of stuff going on there with that gun. I'm going to shoot a 10 millimeter. It's if you're shooting a 1911, honestly, recoil's not that bad. If you shoot a full size gun like the Glock 20, it's not that bad either. Matter of fact, my Glock 20 is my wife's favorite gun. She shoots it very well. I also bought the Smith& Wesson M&P 2.0 compact in 10 millimeter. That shoots very well. And I bought the Sig Sauer P320 X10 comp. Um, unless you're shooting heavy duty crap like Buffalo Bore, 99% of the time, when you go to the store and you buy 10 millimeter, it's 180 grain, but it's watered down like 40 caliber. Um, it's really not that big of a deal. Um, I think everybody that says 10 millimeter is too powerful or uncontrollable read too much crap on the internet and they never shot one. Oh, good for you there, John's life. Glad you got that all straightened out. That looks like a lot of work. And I'm sure there were many swear words used. Yes, Ocean. We were talking about 10 millimeters, but yes, the Glock 21, I own that as well. And I got to tell you, in my opinion, I think the Glock 21 is the best non 1911 45 ACP ever made. I did not see that, Whites. I have my 21 SS. I have the whole collection there, Ocean. I have my Glock 20. I have my Glock 29. I have my Glock 21. And I have my Glock 30. So I got the big brother and the little brother for both 10 millimeter and 45 ACP. I did not see that Wyatt with the guy that got attacked by the bear. That Glock 30 is an awesome gun. I got to tell you, um, it's a little small. What I did was I put the Pierce grip extensions on all my mags because um, what used to drive me crazy is that like you get that like floating pinky thing going on the Glock 30. Well, I can tell you though, what's the Glock 20 is used by a lot of Alaskan tour guides. I I have my True Glow TFX Pros on all my Glocks, and they work very well. I'm not sure about that, Ocean. I think Glock is still using the crappy plastic sights. But like I said, I jumped ship from Glock. I will never buy another one. I love the Glocks I have. I'll never part with them, but I don't like the direction they moved in. Um, and there's a lot of guns out there just as good. I can tell you for a fact that the Gen 5s are still plastic because my Glock 19 is a Gen 5 and they're plastic. And I will bet you any money, even on the Gen 6, they're still plastic. Um, you know what? What's is if you have your heart set on it, good for you. Um, I just personally would never buy a Glock anymore. Um, After they went to the V series and the Gen 6, you would think on the Gen 6 they would start doing what everybody else does and make it modular. They didn't do that. Um, I don't like the direction the company's going in. And for the money you're paying for a Glock, there's a lot of guns out there that outperform it. I got to tell you, my new SIG P365, that will outshoot my Glock 19. Um, my Springfield Echelon, that'll outshoot my Glock 19. Glock made a living for years as a cult just off of their name. Um, but all the other gun manufacturers caught up and have met or exceeded the standards of a Glock. So, well, the other problem that Glock has is that they discontinued a lot of their flagship guns. So, on the Glock Gen 6, for instance, you can't get a Glock 20 anymore. They stopped making it. You can't get a Glock 21 or a Glock 29 or a Glock 30. I get it that they're selling to the masses. I just don't like the direction of the company. And I think Catherine Glock is going to manage them right into the ground. Um, you know what, Watts? If I were you, I would look on Grab a Gun. There may still be some Glock Gen 5s that are still brand new in the warehouses. I would not go to a Gen 6. I agree with you there, Watts. That's why I carried the 1911s. Yeah, you know what? As far John's life, as far as I'm concerned, Glock missed the boat. They don't make the Glock 20 or the 21 right now. Maybe one day. Well, you know what? I went out and I bought the SIG 320 X10 comp. I bought the Smith& Wesson M&P 2.0 10 millimeter. There are a lot of guns out there that will outperform, especially the Gen 6. I mean, the previous gens, they've been around for 30 years, tried and proven. There's no data on the Gen 6 yet. So basically, you're all guinea pigs for that. Anytime there was, and I got to tell you, honestly, got to tell everybody else that asked me, um, if you want a Glock, seriously check out the Ruger RXM. It's it shoots as well as the Glock 19. And I tell you what, I carry my 1911 now. I was carrying my 1911 and 45 ACP, but now it looks like that Delta Elite is going to be my new carry gun. You know what, John? There's nothing anybody can do to sell me on Glock again. Um, once I broadened my horizon and found that there's a lot of other guns on the market that shoot as well, if not better than the Glock for the same price or less, I have no incentive. Look at the Springfield Echelon. That thing puts the Glock to shame. You know why? I don't care about being called a FUD. I'll take my 1911 over anything any day. People that never shot him are the ones that bitch about him. I could tell you one thing. That 1911, right out of the box, is the best trigger in the world. Well, you know what, John's life, whatever works for you. I mean, I don't carry any of my Glocks anymore. But that's just me. Yeah, Wilson Combat is the shit. Uh, I don't know, Duke. I think this guy's. Oh, thanks. All right, guys. It is. That's fine, John's life. I mean, whatever works for you, brother. I will just never purchase another Glock again. But like I said, I love the Glocks I own, and I'll never part with them. But I'll never buy another one. Anyway, it is time to go. It's 9 o'clock. The stream is over. We will not be doing the stream this Saturday. So, and for you new guys out here, we do this every Wednesday evening, 8 o'clock Eastern, every Saturday, 12 noon. If you haven't done so, please subscribe to the channel. Have a blessed evening, everyone. Be safe. And thanks again to our moderators. And thanks again to Ozzy for the holster. It's awesome. Great work there, buddy.